to a possible executive session for legal advice and contract negotiations relative to Canon City and the Royal Gorge Railroad lease and related documents. I think we have a request for representative from Royal Gorge Bridge Company to address council prior to the executive session. Paul, if you could wait until the others have spoken, please.
Yes, I'm here tonight to speak on the settlement agreement, and this is a contract between the RGX and the City of Canon City on behalf of the Royal Gorge. And the stunt clause is primarily what I want to talk about, and the stunt clause and some other related clauses, but they must be amended. I just want to examine some motives here. Why would our tourist train that has received significant compensation for their airspace and easement rights, I think the sum was like $99,000 that the company was paid, simply decide to veto, the very events that this, stunt clause was supposed to provide, especially in light of the fact that almost everyone else, in the community is willing to support these events and the media that these events generated, and I think you heard from some of them tonight. They say they are opposed to certain sporting events which do not showcase nature. This is not their decision to make, and most people would like to think that it is unjust for one single tourist attraction with a relatively small contribution to our local economy has given the power to exercise its control over events which benefit the entire region. In any event, this short-sighted and narrow-minded position is deterring us from pursuing new markets, markets that could generate significant incremental attendance and revenues for the bridge and the city. The Royal Gorge Bridge Park is an entertainment facility, not just a bridge anymore. It's not only our desire to be more than a bridge, but it's the desire of the visitors to Colorado that come to see us. They like more than just a bridge. CTO research says that the adventure market is bringing more people to Colorado than any other element right now. And in fact, the majority of the CTO budget is targeting the adventure market. And now our primary market is still families, and it always will be. But here's some historical figures and of public interest for you to consider tonight. This is a comparison between the bridge and the train. And the train is these are theoretical numbers, but they're close numbers because I have not really gotten to see their financials. But I do know from being in the industry they are pretty close. Attendance 2003, bridge 300,000. The train, 90,000. Payment to the city. The Royal Gorge wrote a check to the city for $1.3 million. The train wrote a check for $34,000, which is basically rent and the sales tax on food and merchandise sold in the depot only. Gross sales, the bridge $6.3 million, the train $3.6 million, and in fact. That $6.3 million that the bridge grows, $4 million of it was spent right here in Fremont County. Now, economic impact, just using a two-time factor, economic impact of the bridge is $12,600,000 on Fremont County, and with $7,200,000 economic impact by the train. The Royal Gorge Bridge being by far the biggest single tourism economic impact of the region. The economic impact from the train is immaterial in relation to the bridge economic impact. The city only derives revenue from the depot lease and a small percentage of the food and beverage and merchandise sales within the confines of the depot. Sales projections, we will gross $9,600,000 this year, and the train, food, and merchandise will gross about $600,000. That means the payment to the city, with our new per capitas and so on, we'll write a check for $1,920,000 to the city, and the train will write a check for about $37,000. So the increased city payments to the city based on those scenarios for the bridge, we'll increase our payment about $620,000, and the train $3,000. Again, lease payments, we've averaged, about $1.3 million per year for the last few years. The train lease payment's about $25,000 for the depot. Full-time employees, 43 full-time against the train's 12. Seasonal employees, about 140 against the train's 80. Marketing, $500,000 a year for many years, and I really don't know what the train spends in marketing. Attendance, we've had 20 million people visit the gorge over the last 20 years. About 375 have visited the train so far, 375,000 that is. That's an average per year at the gorge of 266,000 people, and average at the train of about 75,000 people. The depot lease is our only strong negotiating factor. The train company has no intention of moving their train to another location. They are simply bluffing. To move their depot to close this close to the summer, would be absolutely disastrous for them. They will negotiate on the skunt clause because they, must have the lease. Let me make it clear, we're not against them or their depot lease.